Can't hear anything.
There we are. Try again. Second time lucky. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing out there, cupcakes? Welcome back to Sunday. We've got a few guests with us. I have chucked the link in the comments if anyone else wants to come and join us. We have Ty from the Koi Pit, and below us we have Ickle Nicky from Little Nick's Koi Pond. How are we doing, guys?
Terrible.
Great.
Terrible. Okay, we'll start with terrible first. What's gone wrong, Nick? What can we help you with?
Well, I put the 2 Tempests up for my new pond, and I rigged it so I'd just be looping the water around with PP.
Yeah.
But my spare pump kept tripping the electrics. But it took me about half hour to realise that's the only thing that I've plugged in. It kept tripping it. So I turned it back on, it tripped, turn it back on. But we got there in the end. So I took the one off that I'm using on the new Nexus that I bought. Well, not new, second hand. I'm PPing that, and I was just looping the water around. So I took the pump off of there, put that on the Tempest, but yeah, rain, cold. Got there in the end, covered in PP.
You're not doing too well at the moment, are you? You trashed your window.
Yeah.
You've now fucked your pump. What's next? You're not riding a bike at the moment, are you?
Well, they say it comes in threes.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Don't go.
Stored for the winter.
Oh, mate. Don't tell me you're only a fair weather rider.
I do use it of winter, but like for working it takes me longer to get the bike out, put my gear on, than it does to jump in the car. But then my car's just as much fun as the bike.
All right, you got a toy, have you?
Yeah. Not quite as quick as the bike, but
no, I was devastated when I had to give up riding my CVR.
Honda rider, I heard about you lot.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the back wheel squad.
Nick, what kind of bike do you ride?
Suzuki GSXR 1000.
Okay. Oh, hey.
Nice.
Can turn the camera around on this?
You can, but you have to go into settings.
Go
to camera.
Like so excuse the mess, but I built a little table, put my speakers in it and my subwoofer.
Mate, it's the wrong colour. It should be red and black.
To be fair, it was red and black before I sprayed it.
Yeah, that's what my CBR was, red and black.
So
one day
it was quite funny. When it was red and black, I had 125 stickers in red on the front.
Oh, right.
The amount of people you'd see looking at it, you can almost see the clogs going round in their head because they're looking at it. It's in the dual exhaust, the back wheel, and then they're looking at the 125 stickers.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, that's my sort of shit. That.
And then, like the local MC that I'm part of, I used to boast that I had the fastest 125 in Essex.
Yeah.
Because if people look at it, see 125, and the eyes are telling them it's a 125, and they're just good fun that was.
Yeah, Jigsy's in the comments saying I missed my GSXR K7.
Nice.
So
yeah, this is L1.
We got lots of people coming in that are new names. Good to see new faces and new names in the chat. There is a link in the comments. I'll put it up again if anyone does want to come and join us. When my lap, I really got to invest in a new pad, that's for sure.
What part of America are you from, Ty?
I'm in Utah. So the
West. You ain't got the cold weather, have you? What's the weather like out there?
Bone cold, freezing bullshit. I hate it.
Oh, a bit
hate
like
this
us at
time
the
of year.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you been up to for the last few weeks, Ty? Because we haven't seen you for a few weeks, have we?
No, I've been, with my job and what I do, the holiday season it's a lot this time of year. We're not working Saturdays now since Thanksgiving, so that's been good. But yeah, it was like 6-day weeks for a little while, a lot of
Man.
overtime and things, but just too much going on to be able to try to do anything else. So,
Hey, I hope they're paying you well to wear that elf uniform.
to wear the elf uniform.
Good afternoon, guys.
How we doing, Dave? How we
Yeah,
doing,
all right.
Dave? We'll get to you in a minute.
Okay,
So,
man.
Ty, koi-wise, what have you been up to the last few weeks?
I've been hanging out in the greenhouse with the new fish. They've been good. It's been fun trying to get them to start hand feeding. It's like this long-term goal I have with them, but they're all still a little skittish since they're new. But we'll get there.
How's the homemade filter system working?
It's still working, so pretty good.
So with it being like a greenhouse type thing that you put them in, are you going to be doing some kind of aquaponics with it in the spring and the summer? Because you do get a rather large temperature rise, don't you, in the summer
Yeah,
compared
I'm
to
gonna have
us?
to figure something out with that because I think it's gonna get way too hot in there come summertime. I might put a cover over the roof and pull the walls up. I don't know.
Well,
It's future Ty's problem.
on the koi farm, what they usually do is they usually put a black sheet over half of it. So the half where you get the most sun, but in that part of the day, that's where you have your black bit, but you're still getting your light then. Because by the time it goes past that certain point, it then starts to cool down, doesn't it? And then you're getting the UV as well as the benefit of the temperature inside the greenhouse. Can you see what I mean?
No, I think that would make sense. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Yeah, definitely.
They just put a big black plastic sheet over the side.
Literally, the black plastic that they use for lining the ponds, all they do is they put some strings up between the polytunnel ribs, and then they just feed it over there, so it sits. Can you see what I mean? They feed it over the rib, and then the string just holds it in place. And then if you get a couple of cool days and you want to take advantage of the sun, you can then just slide it down. And when it can you see what I mean? It's so simple, it's unreal.
It's just like a homemade canopy.
Yeah. But basically with just a black sheet. Yes, Jack, he has a koi channel. It's called the Koi Pit. Now, if I was clever with technology, I'd be able to put a link to his channel in the comments, but I ain't that clever. Just like the new visitor down in this corner, our Ickle Nicky, he's also got a YouTube channel. That's Little Nick's Koi Pond, which, as I said when I shouted him out, is wicked because he ain't fucking little. That's for sure. And if you don't know who the man below me is, then where you been hiding? Now, fuck me. You let Len loose with the fucking lawnmower, didn't you?
I have, mate, yes.
So, yeah, if you don't know who that is below me, that's our Rocket Boy from Rocket Boy Koi. So, I'm surprised he's smiling because I think it was last week when he picked me up, he was as miserable as sin because the wind had battered his plastic. And after the last 2 nights fucking wind, I bet it's been beaten shitless. So I'm surprised he's smiling. Get it out your system now, Dave, before you pick me up tomorrow.
Oh,
You're talking about wind. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I built like a Perspex come around a little grow on
Yeah.
it. But obviously smashed it all and blew it off.
No.
Oh shit!
Should have put more framework in it.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't want to go too mad with it because that will eventually be the new grow on that I'm building,
Yeah.
which will be have water in by now. But they don't make glass like they used to.
No. So was it you slipped or the sucker slipped?
Well, I think it was. My dad put the top clamp on, but he'd done it so tight it kicked out the bottom left.
Oh no!
Right.
And then
And
obviously
it
the
sort
corner
of
bit,
twisted it.
yeah.
Yeah, got ya.
Rather than just have it
Right.
enough to be against the mastic,
Yeah.
he's done it tight, like holding on for dear life. It's kicked out the bottom, and before we knew it, the corner hit the floor.
Damn,
Smack.
£280 down the drain.
mate, I know. Gutted.
But I,
That's
think
not
I, was
good.
more, I was more annoyed they couldn't get one to me until this Thursday rather than Thursday just gone.
Well, I booked and arranged everything around Monday because I was told Monday was when the window was going to arrive, and I got a message saying it's being loaded onto the wagon Monday. It'll be with you Tuesday morning. I was like, gutted.
Yeah, 'cause you've got your liner now, ain't you?
I've got the liner here waiting. Yes, the box weld liner to go into the bio chamber has been made and is now at Matt's house. So
would it not be
that's
worth
that.
getting the liner, the big one, in and be masticing the other bits? Because what I noticed, because of all the mastic that was left on the fiberglass, it took a few days before it actually dried enough so I could clean it.
Well, you say that. I actually sent Matt a video message showing him my recess for where the window's going to go, and I did say to him, did he want me to put a thin layer of silicone across the blockwork? Yeah, just to stop the risk of tinging the window. And he went, no. He said, leave it bare, plain concrete blocks. So, and it's going to be a case of the window is going to be going in first. Once the window's in, then the liner will go in, and then the liner will go to the window. And thankfully, I am not the one cutting the liner around the window.
Are you not doing that?
No. Why do you think I humbly asked Matt if he would come and fit the window and the liner? I mean, the toe side tank, the fiberglassing for that was done by a bloke called Stuart. Sorry, Corey, I don't think he does YouTube anymore, but that was fiberglass.
Is that the same Stuart who helped you with your block work?
No, completely different Stuart. And yeah, I done my window to that, and again, he advised me to go silicone straight onto the fiberglass and then window straight in. And luckily enough, I'd actually put a prop between the window and the wall. And I'm glad I did, because when I come down the next morning, one of the suckers had popped off. So thankfully the prop kept it where it was supposed to be so that silicon could go off. So dodged a bullet on that one. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the weight of the new bit of glass, that's for sure, because that's 52 inches by, I think it's 20 or 22 inches deep. So just over 4 foot in total.
Just pick it up and walk off with it.
Mate, honestly, when the window for the towside tank arrived, that was a 85 cm square, and he actually parked to the entrance of where my car park is, which is a good way, isn't it, Dave?
Oh yeah.
If
You wouldn't want to carry it far.
there, and he goes, yeah, I'll come and grab this. I took one look at it and I went, you're fucking helping me with that. He said, I beg your pardon. I said, you're fucking helping me with that because I ain't lifting out on my own. It made him fucking help me carry the bastard all the way in. But yeah, 85 centimetre square, and that was fucking heavy.
Yeah, I think mine was 68 kilo. On the invoice.
That's what I mean. They're not fucking light when you think that it's overall it's 25 mil thick, and that is 2 pieces of toughened glass laminated together, you know, and it's not fucking light, that's for sure.
See, I could see me dad, like when mine come, the bloke was up on the truck and my dad was struggling with it, so I just fair hugged it and carried it. It was just putting it down that I needed his help with.
Yeah,
because of the size of it, 'cause it's 1.5 metre long. Carrying it by myself was fine. It was the like laying it flat to put it down. I just couldn't do because of the angle I had it. Such is life.
I mean, the one thing I'm struggling with at the moment is finding the right tiles for the outside of the pond. How we doing, mate? And the reason for that is I want to tile it because I've got a block front, so I don't want to render it. So I want to, but finding a nice black exterior tile that looks a bit different, that isn't fucking split face, is hard.
I think I might have seen something that you were talking about. The place by me that I've got my coping stones, I'm sure they've got a plain black front tile.
Well, that's just it. I'll know it when I see it. I mean, I've found one on eBay, and they call it a dragon scale pattern, and they're 60 centimeters deep by 120 long. So to do the front, and the sides, I'm not going to need a lot of them to do it. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, but will you need to do a lot of cutting?
I still got to cut it, and then
if they're smaller, you probably wouldn't need to do as many cuts.
Yes and no, because when you look at the front of my pond, I think it is pretty much 2 tiles on laid on flat. Can you see what I mean?
You're saying that you still got like a little trench going around your block work, isn't you?
Not anymore, no.
Oh, as I'm to say, you can even dig out a little bit of the edge, so you ain't got to cut it back up to where your coping stones is, and then backfill to save the cutting.
But that's the other thing that we are undecided on is the coping stones as well, because we got the first thought was to put on the top of the pond whatever I laid down on the new patio, but I'm now starting to swing away from that idea and thinking, well, if I'm going to tile the walls, if I can find a nice, say, mid-grey marble type tile to go round the top, because the two walls that up above the pond that people are going to see, which is the one on Long Block and the one that is going to hide the fence next door, that area is going to be cladded with white plastic. So it's got to be right, and this is why I haven't rushed on a few things, and that's because I promised me part that it would be done properly. So I don't want to put something up and then a couple of months later sit there and go, I don't like that, and then pull it apart and read it. I want the whole. So the copings I'm not 100% sure on yet, purely because until the tiles are on the front of the pond and I've got the cladding up, that will then dictate on what goes on top to make it look right, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so we was thinking going with like the stones for the garden, but then I thought trying to bring my bike through on stones is a no-no.
Yeah.
So I think it may be stones and then having like a central path leading up to the house.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's just deciding on the colour and everything else. But I think I'm going to go with like a dark stone cladding or tile for the pond, and then the lighter stones around it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, split face tiles do look good, but at the same time, when you look at a lot of the pond builds that have been done on YouTube over the last couple of years, I would say 75 to 80% of them have been covered with split face tiles of one colour or another.
Yeah, they all look the same colour, but they do look nice.
They do look nice, but I just can't picture them in my garden, in that back garden. Can you see what I mean? Yeah. Because the dry stone block work that is in front of the IBC tank is going to be coming down. Because
that's it. I got to look up what a split face tile is.
Say again.
I said I got to look up what a split face tile is because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Ty's lost the picture.
Yeah, it's because he's just gone to look up split face tiles.
Oh, right, right.
And the plan is, once I've got rid of that dry stone block work that's in front of the IBC tank, I'm going to affix some moisture board to it, and then I will put the same tiles that are on the pond on the front of that, because that big bio chamber and the homemade Tempest is coming out, and then the Tempest and the shower carcass that is on the pool in the front garden is going to be put onto the IBC tank to make things look a bit nicer. Going up a bit, but trying at the same time still keeping it on a budget. So Dave, we've all given our ups and downs this week. So what have you been up to, and how are things in your back garden pond wise?
Well, the things in the back garden over the weekend were disastrous, let's be honest. It blew, the roof stayed on, both the roofs stayed on, but
it's always a good sign.
Yeah, it was, Nick. But the poly round the sides, no, dear.
Question for you then. Would you recommend polyplastic from Temu?
No way.
So you won't be using Temu no more then?
Oh no.
Expensive
No, what,
lesson learned.
yeah, what I've decided to do is build the frames from the top of the pergola to the base of the pond, you know, the top of the pond and the
Yeah.
sides, and frame it in so I can make them removable for the summer,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I've done a temporary repair and I've done a bit of video earlier on, but I couldn't build the frames today because it was still blowing a hoolie and peeing down with rain as normal. But
Hey.
If you want some Perspex sheets, I've got shit tons.
have you really?
Yeah, I think they're about 1 metre, 1 metre 20 by 60.
Yeah?
I've got absolutely shit tons.
I certainly wouldn't mind, Nick. And by the way, I
Yeah,
haven't subbed to you.
I'd nab a couple of them,
Do
Nick.
you?
Yeah.
Whereabouts
Got
are
me.
you, Nick?
Junction 30, M25, Lakeside Shopping Centre.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps me and Vince could have a trundle down in the old rocket mobile and pick them up.
Yeah, more than welcome. So I've got a pile of them from the floor, probably 1.5 meters high.
Fuck
Wow.
me, I could double glaze the Tosai tank.
Yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
Perspex.
yeah. I see them on Marketplace. Someone's giving them away free, which give me the idea to box in, like my planter and that. But
Yeah.
you know, one condition, you've got to take the lot. I ended up doing
Oh.
about 3 trips in the car.
Yeah, I'll definitely nab some of that off you, mate.
Yeah, more than welcome.
Well, what we'll have to make a date then and pop down, Vince.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So
And-
other than plastic disaster, Dave, anything else you've been up to?
Oh, well, I do a bit of fence repairs. One of the panels come loose, so I've been out there screwing all that together. Fun, but that's koi keeping, isn't it? You know, it happens. Spelt with an
Like,
S.
it's a punishment.
Yeah. Any news from Rick, by the way,
On
on damage?
If the fire's still there.
last I spoke to him, there hadn't been. He did say last time I see on the group, there hadn't been so far. Touch wood, but we'll find out, no doubt, tomorrow when we get down there.
Yeah.
So how do you do, Chris? How are you? And what have you been up to koi-wise this week?
Well, koi-wise this week, not a lot. I invested in a new pond back because the bottom of my pond is all full of gravel where it's been netted and the lily pots have been knocked over.
All right, yeah.
To get all that out and start afresh, hopefully. I did try yesterday, but it was too pretty cold, so all I did yesterday was leave my filter. That was it. But
God, I
nothing
tell
major.
you what, you bunch of woofters. There's me, riddled with arthritis in my hands, up to my armpits today in freezing cold water, trying to sort out Mars Pond. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Talking of getting in the water, I did get myself, where have I put it? I see it on the Blake's website, a wetsuit. Reduced down to 30 quid. I thought at some point I don't have to get in that water, but I thought for 30 quid.
Mate,
We'll tell a lie, it was 27, so extra 10% off.
With your luck just lately, you are really tempting fate with that, aren't you?
And I look good in neoprene.
Yeah, I don't. No, that's a picture I can't envisage. How we doing, stranger?
I'm doing fine. Hang on, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, and that.
And
How we doing, Ade? Not seen you for a
bad.
while.
Not too bad.
Yep, not seen you for a while. How's things going with the pond?
All hunky dory, fingers crossed.
Sweet. So, since we haven't seen you for a while, what have you been up to? Have you mainly been working on the camper?
Oh, don't go there with that camper. I was on the way down to Weymouth in August for our anniversary and the wife's birthday. The engine blew up on it.
Oh,
No.
I did see that, Aid, on the video.
Yeah, she like blew up. I still ain't had it back, which I can't find an engine for it.
You'll be lucky,
Yeah.
sweet.
And to top it off, I was made redundant on Friday.
Oh,
dear.
mate, no.
It's all kicked off, but hey, out. It's what it is.
Hey, Chris has just said, Nick, can you put the wetsuit on and model it?
Now you have to go to the OnlyFans and pay for that.
And do they do them in small?
I think they had them in all the sizes, but for £27 delivered, you can't go wrong.
No, right.
Although I did need a bit of help getting it on the shoulders.
No comment. No comment. So what are your plans for next year as far as the quiz concerned, Aid?
I've got one in quarantine at the minute, and I'm still after Tancho shower. So I ain't doing any upgrades on the pond because I've got it running perfect at the minute. So I don't start messing with it and whatever. Happy days in there at the minute. That's what I mean. I've just done a filter clean on it. I put covers all the way around, so it's all lovely and warm in there. And I'm sitting at about 10 degrees at the minute.
No.
In there.
Same as mine, though.
So even through all that cold weather we had, it was sitting between 9 and 10 degrees. Happy days.
Yeah, I really believe that putting enclosures around ponds does help the temperature swings, purely because it just takes that wind chill factor off.
Yeah.
That wind chill factor, you'll be surprised how much that wind chill factor actually chills the water. It's unreal.
Yeah,
It's the wind chill in
100%.
general.
Yeah. I think what it does is if you heat it, it takes the heat, the evaporation takes the heat out and blows it away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I ain't even heated. It's at ambient temperature.
Yeah, so for the fact that it's holding that temperature, a nice ambient, just enclosure.
Yeah.
That's. But you've got all your filter systems all inside a building as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
is the building insulated?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all insulated to the end of its life, you know what I mean? Like in the filter house, that's sitting at 14 degrees.
Yeah. Sorry.
And like, so at the minute, now I am making no plans. I'm just going to let it take its course and whatever. My fish are doing absolutely banging.
Sweet. I tell you what, I know where there's an absolutely banging Tancho shower.
Don't start. I've got no money at the minute. Have I? If I buy a fish now, I will have no golden eggs left.
But it's actually forgiveness and
actually sitting in sitting in one of the tanks at the farm.
I know the one you mean, Vince.
Oh, yeah. I've provisionally got my name next to it.
Oh, well, there you go then.
But if I had the choice between that and the Deutsche Giro that's in the pond, then the Deutsche Giro would win hands down.
I've already got a Deutsche Giro off Emily Atfield.
And I really think, I mean, I see it Friday, and I even chatted with Carl about it, but the way that Deutsche Giro is looking right at this moment in time, that could go to a show. Honest to God. So if I had the choice, it would be the Deutsche Shiro over the Tancho Showa, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I've got a title to try and retain next year, haven't I? So,
Well, ask him. He might do buy one get one free.
no, I get enough from the guys down there, let alone getting.
You have to put a picture on. You have to send me a picture, Vince.
Yeah, I will do. Well, I'm down there tomorrow. I'll get it banged into a bowl for you.
Just have a picture. Let's see what.
Yeah.
What size is it?
Ooh. It's mid to high 30s, early 40s, I think, offhand.
Just send
It's
a picture.
not a small fish.
If it's like breaking the bank money, you know what I mean?
No problem.
Don't say anything. I'll phone you
It's
tomorrow.
It's put it this way, it's one of the things that I do, and they will tell you exactly the same. One of the things I do butt heads with both Carl and Ricky about, and that's the pricing on some of the fish that they put up for sale. Some of the fish they put up for sale are up for sale at some criminal prices, you know. Because, and I know that because some of them, if you'd have seen this exactly the same fish in somewhere like Quenicoi or somewhere like that, it'd be 4 times the price, and people wouldn't think twice about paying it. But yet, an English bred fish with exactly the same quality can't even command a third of the price, and I just think that's criminal.
Yeah.
And I'm just as good as Japanese fish anyway, ain't they?
Yeah. And you've got the other side of it as well. From this country, so the fish themselves are used to our climate, our waters, and everything else. I mean, I had a friend. Now he went across to Japan, and I mean his pond was 8 foot deep, and 3 nexuses, 3 big showers. Fucking thing was huge, and he went across to Japan. And he brought a Matsukow Baki, and he spent almost $4,000 on it in total, and shipping on top. It hit his pond, and in the space of 3 weeks, it went jet black and never changed back.
I'd be gutted.
Now, even though Matsukow Baki and Komomo Sumi is unstable to the fact that it will change, most of the Matsukow Bakis that I've seen come out of the forest as they progress through their age, there is changes, but there isn't major drastic changes. Can you see what I mean? So I think with the fact that they're used to UK water, maybe, but they are completely different, I don't know. But
especially when you're paying a premium from it coming from Japan, and then it changes to a totally different fish.
Yeah, exactly. Jack's just asking here, Jack Weston. Hi, why do Hitsuri change when they take it from the pond as it do? No, it's not to do with water quality and stress. You'll find it'll happen in Kinshawa. It happen in certain types, certain bloodlines of Hitsuri. You take them from a pond and put them into a blue bowl, and the Sumi, it's almost as if it regresses.
And it's pretty quick as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and this is why showing metallic showers and shiros and stuff like that, you'll find. Well, it actually happened at this year's national. There was a gentleman there with a Gin Shiro Atsuri. Now, when that was in his pond, I bet that Sumi was as jet black as the surround of this video. Yeah, but by the time Saturday afternoon had come, the Sumi, it was there, but it was very, very pale. It wasn't that real jet black, inky black. Can you see what I mean? It was purely because of the background that it was put into. And it is a common trait with certain bloodlines of Showa and that, and it just literally something to do with the background that they're in. I think it's some kind of defense mechanism. In fact, what I will do is I will pin Ricky down on it tomorrow. How about that? And we'll put it out on a video.
Something to do with the chromospheres or whatever in the skin, isn't it?
It's something like that, but I'm not 100%. I don't 100% know exactly why it happens. So yeah, what I will do is I will broach the subject with Rick tomorrow, and we'll put it on tomorrow's video or tomorrow's live. And Jack, Sumi is black.
Yeah, I know how work can become all consuming and get in the way of other stuff.
Would it be something to do with like a defence mechanism? Because if you go to like a fishing lake with wild carp in the lake, when the water's gin clear, it would generally be like a darker colour than what it would be from the lake, just to blend in with the bottom.
I think a defence mechanism, but how it happened, I honestly couldn't tell you. So yeah, I'll pin Ricardo down on that one.
It definitely is something to do with the makeup of the skin and the chromosomes or chromospheres or whatever they call it.
It's something to do with it.
Yeah, I've noticed it with perch and roach as well, Nick. You get them in coloured water and they're insipid, pale.
Yeah.
You get them in gin clear water and they're really vivid colours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alan, I'm not
cold
sure.
Water and I'll disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan, do they allow for that in a show? I honestly don't know, but I was absolutely over the moon that my Ginshiro Atsuri that I took to the National got a second in size and class that I got from that come from Perfect Aquatics actually, and that wasn't an expensive fish either. I paid £30 for it, and like I say, a year later takes second in size and class at the National. But I was really, really pleased with the fact that when it went into the blue vat, it held its Sumi. So yeah, I was.
It was a nice fish, that one.
Yeah. I tell you what,
What
both
did you
that.
win for that?
Say again.
What did you win for that?
For the Ginshiro was a rosette for second in size and class. It was the well, I call it a Deutsch Midori guy because it's a yellowy greeny colour, and I don't know what they classed it as. It come under Hikari Mono, I think it was, but that was the Deutsch one from New Forest Koi.
Damn.
Oh, we got another visitor.
Oh,
we're filling up today. We're filling up today. How we doing, Simondo?
How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, not bad. How's you? What you been up to koi-wise? Because you've been very quiet.
I've literally just walked back in door from we went out to Shoshikoi. I've been to pick up their donations, what they've supplied for us for the OnlyFins thing.
Oh, right, yeah. Did you go out with Brett, did you?
No, I think that's the open day event, what they're doing on the, I think it's 28th of December. I think that's one what Brett's going to. But no, I've just nipped out there. They've supplied us a bag of detox.
Oh.
And a 15 kilogram bag of Sakikori multi-season.
Oh,
nice.
Very nice.
Great. So other than the only thing, say again, Nick.
I said I'm quite impressed with that pond detox.
What, the Aqua Utopia?
Yeah, just like I did on some of these videos, testing it with the chlorine and everything else, and it's bang on.
So, while you're on, since I haven't got round to seeing your video yet, Simon, but I've heard your name mentioned a hell of a lot when the Aqua Utopia detox thing is mentioned. So, could you break it down into layman's terms of what it is for myself and those that are out there watching?
Yeah, well, it's a detoxifier, similar to the Lincolnshire Fish Health Pond Detox, but this seems to work a hell of a lot better for whatever reason, whatever's in it. It strips out metals, chlorine treatments. It acts as a flocculant, for fines in your water and stuff like that. And yeah, just helps promote a good ecosystem and things like that. It seems to be working really well so far.
What's the price on that, Simon?
You what, sorry?
You don't have help for all
I said it does the nitrite and ammonia as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it helps to bind ammonia and nitrite, so your filter can remove them easier.
And what's the price on it, Si? Retail?
A 1 kilogram bag, I think, is 35 quid, and I think the 2 kilogram bag is 55 quid.
That's not bad, is it?
So it does everything. It does everything the Lincolnshire detox does, but it does it better and more. From my experiences and testing it, anyway.
Yeah. So,
because at one point I was a big user of the Lincolnshire detox.
Yes, you was.
And then I tried this stuff what Frank developed while it were in testing, and yeah, I were completely blown away by it.
But the Lincolnshire don't dechlorinate, does it?
It does to a certain point, not like this stuff does. I think if you was to use quite a lot more, I think it probably would. But you'd need to use, a lot more to do it. Because when I tried to use it to dechlorinate water, it did do it to a certain level, but nowhere near as much as this stuff did. This stuff just wiped it out completely.
Yeah, like I said, I've done the same test on my Hanometer and it was just a 0.
Yeah.
Straight away. Admittedly, I've never done it with the Lincolnshire one. But then it's a false economy if you've got to use twice as much.
Yeah, well, I suppose obviously the dosages on the Lincolnshire stuff and this Aqua Utopia stuff, the dosages are different, so you've got to take that into account. But even still, at the same time, the dosage on the Aqua Utopia stuff is lower than that of the Lincolnshire Fish Health stuff. So even by using this lower dose of the Aqua Utopia stuff, it completely wipes everything out, whereas the Lincolnshire Fish Health stuff doesn't at the same dose.
10 gram per 1,000 gallon?
1,000 litres. 10
10
grams per 1,000 litres.
So do you get an ingredients breakdown on the packet?
No, there's no breakdown of ingredients.
Trade secret, that.
Yeah, they can't give all the secrets away, can they?
No, but at the same time, is it in some respects going to cause problems because in the fact that people might think that, okay, I can use that instead of cleaning my filters, or
yeah,
I don't need to have a filter because I can use this because it will take away that. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I think that'd just be irresponsible. That you can't do that.
No, I know that, but there are people out there that would see it and say, well, if it does this and it does that, what's the point of me having a filter? I can just chuck that into my pond instead.
Yeah, it don't quite work to the same level of that. You know, you can put this in, but it's not going to completely wipe out every single bit of ammonia and nitrite and stuff like that. It just helps lower the levels. It binds the free ammonia, so it makes it easier for the filter to remove.
It's not a cure, it's there to help you if something spikes, I suppose.
Si, send us a link, will you, for that?
If you go on my
Excellent.
channel, Dave, there's a link there on video.
Right. I'll check
You
that.
can use that with PP as well, can't you? To neutralise the PP, then you use the one.
It does neutralise PP, yeah.
So you know,
Is
if
it-
you're using that, if you've got if you got that in your pond, and if you use PP, is that going to neutralise it straight away?
Well, it depends what dose of PP you've used, and I suppose if you've just done a standard packet dose, then if you use the double dose, what's recommended to use for neutralising treatments, then it will neutralise it. But as we know, some people are going beyond packet instructions, so some people are, in some instances, are doing double doses. Now, I did try using this. When I did my testing, I did try testing it of a double dose of PP, and it just about neutralised it with a double dose of detox. But it's not something I really, I wouldn't really recommend to be doing things like that.
Yeah.
Well, double dose in PP anyway.
Yeah, some try, don't they? And get kicked in the ass for it. I think, to be honest, because it is so new, I'm skeptical.
Well, it's one of them things that you're not going to know. It's one of them things you're not going to know until you've tried it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it seems very. I'm trying to word it right. It seems very new to the market, but how can it be tested fully? You know, over for long-term benefit or side effects that it might cause. Can you see what I mean?
Well, I suppose that's the same with any product, though, isn't it? Any product that's out now at some point in time was once new to the market. So it's all about, long-term testing. There's things you can do. What I've done, for example, with it in the short term, like testing what it removes from the water and stuff like that. But I've been using it now probably, 3 months or whatever it is or so since I started testing it.
Yeah.
And so far, since I've been using it every other week, and the pond, honestly, the pond has never looked as well.
Can you use that stuff at any temperature, or does it make any difference? I know that's a stupid question to ask.
No, you can use it at any temperature. Another thing, what I found with this is, I'm having an issue. I did mention this in my video, but I'm having an issue with a few of my fish where they were holding quite a lot of head mucus, and I couldn't shift it. I tried everything. I'd checked my water parameters. Everything was fine on that. I'd been scraping and scraping, thinking I was missing something, and each time I scraped, I couldn't find anything. And then that was when I spoke to Frank spoke to me about trying some of this stuff when it were in development. And once I started using it, over a few weeks, I slowly noticed that the fish started to look a lot better. The mucus was starting to disappear. And now, because I've been using it as long as I have, they're perfect. I've never seen them look so good. But so I can only put that down to something in the background of the water that I couldn't detect, that I couldn't get rid of, and this has wiped it out at water. That's the only thing I can put it down to, because nothing else has changed.
So
interesting.
Well, there's no harm in trying it, is there?
Could it then be used to help negate new pond syndrome? Is that a possibility? Or is that just using that to help through new pond syndrome? Is that not going to?
I don't think it'd help negate new pond syndrome. Definitely not. I think one thing you could use it for is when you first start a new pond. If you dose this stuff into the fresh water, then obviously it's going to strip any chlorine and chloramine out of the water. It's going to get rid of any toxic heavy metals and stuff like that. So in that sense, it's going to help the water before you put any fish in. But in terms of negating new pond syndrome, I don't think it'd help that.
Right.
Because obviously, as we know, with new pond syndrome, you're going to get a massive spike in ammonia.
Yep,
So,
and that was why I'm just thinking of questions that other people would think about.
Yeah, you're not going to use it for stuff like that. For negating new pond syndrome. There's much better stuff you can use to help with new pond syndrome and things you can do. It's not really designed for that.
Oh,
it's more so like a water conditioner than
it's more a maintenance thing.
Stuart's in the comments saying it does say on the bag, Simon, about new ponds. You got a bag there, Simon? Reach over and grab it. Have a look.
Yeah, new ponds in terms of making the water safe. It's not going to help new pond syndrome.
But if it takes out ammonia and nitrite, then surely that is.
But we're talking about different levels of ammonia and nitrite, though, aren't we? In a pond, if you get a little spike.
This is what I'm saying, because it's not been out that long. A lot of people are not going to have enough information about it, and someone out there, what people are like, oh, you can use it for a new pond. Yeah, every time I get ammonia, I got bang that in.
When we talk about removing ammonia and nitrite and stuff like that, we're talking about totally different levels. If you get an ammonia spike in an established pond, we're probably talking something about 0.5 milligrams of ammonia or something like that. Whereas in a new pond syndrome, you're going to probably get anything up to like 3-4 parts per million ammonia. So it's totally different levels. So you can't expect it to be removing those kind of levels of ammonia.
But then you need a certain amount for your filter to establish.
Exactly. But like I say, looking at it from a different angle, someone who maybe doesn't spend a lot of time on YouTube but has heard about this product because so-and-so said this, that and the other, and it gets rid of ammonia and nitrite, and then they think, all right, okay. And then they start using it, and they're still getting an ammonia problem. Can you see what I mean? So then they'll try double dosing. Is it going to harm the pond if someone puts over what is? Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, you're not gonna harm the pond by overdosing with it. But like I say, don't expect to be removing 4 parts per million of ammonia because it's just not going to happen.
No, I'm not saying it will, but I'm trying to look at it from different angles.
Yeah.
Can you see what I mean? Because other than your video and a couple of times it's been mentioned on a live, up until that point I hadn't even heard of the product.
Yeah, well, you won't have done because it's only been not long since it's come out, has it? But it's been in testing for quite some time.
Yeah, I understand that, but like I say, what testing was done on it? Is there somewhere where we can go where they can show what tests were done, why they were done? Can you see what I mean?
It's
available for people to see.
Well, I mean, I can't answer that one because I don't know what tests that the manufacturers themselves have done. So I don't know. I suppose you'd have to, speak to Frank or whoever about that. I can only tell you, what tests I've done and things like that.
I mean, it's been spoken about the last 2 weeks on Gaz's live, and for the last 2 weeks, I mean, Gaz has actually said, Frank, come on the show and tell us all about it.
Mm.
Would have been perfect way to answer all these types of questions. Can you see what I mean? And because for me, looking in, it seems like there's a reluctance to go on a live show and talk about the product. Now, if that's the case, I hope I'm wrong, but from me looking in, I'm thinking, well, he's not willing to come on the show and talk about it, so what's in it?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't speak for Frank, can I?
No. But can you see what I'm saying from a different perspective? If you're watching a show that goes out to quite a lot of people now, I mean, on a Thursday night, you're lucky if it's 150 more people on there, of a good chunk of what is the koi community, and they're there to talk in the chat, but why the reluctance to come on the show and talk about their product?
Let's be honest, though. How many manufacturers are going to come out and discuss what ingredients are in the products, apart from koi food?
They don't.
No, but this product is supposed to be better than a lot of the other stuff out there, and that's the review that I'm being given from people I've spoken to, and I've heard that your video says that. But if there's a reluctance to actually, of the person who's part of the community as well, because he is a YouTuber. I don't think he's put a video out in a long time, probably because he's been in there developing the product. But that being the case, why the reluctance to go on a show and talk about it?
Pass. I don't know.
No, and I don't expect you to answer that. But looking out from a different point of view, especially when money's tight and everything, why does a normal pond keeper need this product? Because if his filters and everything are running properly, he shouldn't have to worry about ammonia and nitrate and so forth. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even think it's so much as, well, let's be honest. No product is a necessity, is it? It's
no.
Every product is there to help along the way, and this is no different, really. It has its benefits where it can help remove the toxins out of the water that you may not usually would be able to.
Yeah, so when I was watching your video when you were reviewing that product, what it put me in mind of I think it might be one of those products you go to when you've tested lots of things and there's something just not right in your pond. It might just be like that, one of those measures you take just to see if you can bounce things back where you need it to be.
Yeah.
But
there's nothing
that
on
was
his
just my
website
impression.
about research.
Say again, Nick.
I said there's nothing on the website of Aqua Utopia about research. It just mentions aquaculture expert.
Yeah, I think that's Frank's partner, I think.
I presume there'll be some kind of scientific research into what goes into it to neutralise all
Well,
these
yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's been 18 months in the testing.
But for me, like down in Essex where I am, my water's really high in copper. And I ain't always got time to run it through the 3-stage filter to neutralise it. So for me, it's equipped by a neutralising net copper. When the heavy metals in the water.
Yeah.
I think it probably worked well side by side with a big blue foot, that's filled with bone char. Just by having it on hand, it would probably help to get rid of them heavy metals. Because let's be honest, big blues, they've been known to you have to piss about with them a lot, back flushing them, and
Roll them about.
God knows how long carbon inside them lasts.
And it's a fortune as well to replace the carbon as well, ain't it now?
Yeah.
That's gone straight through the roof.
And you've got the other side of the coin.
That's if you can even get it into the country.
Is it going to put Andy Finch out of business? Because that's his business. Now, if this one product does it all, then why the fuck are you going to need a big blue and a 3-stage and all this?
Yeah, I don't think it's there to replace a carbon filter. I don't think that's what it's there for. I think it's just there as a side thing to have to, help side by side.
Yeah, but that's making me think now, if that stuff takes copper out and all the other stuff, why do you need all them? If you put a dose in that every time you do your water change, you won't need anything like that, will you?
Because if you're following the instructions and you're doing a weekly dose, then what, like Ace just said, why the fuck do you need a big blue with bone char and carbon and all this that costs an absolute fortune when you can get some of this in your pond once a week, job done?
Job done, because how much your filters now? A £5 7 quid. You need to put them in twice a year or whatever. That's going to pay for itself. Then you got your bone char and whatever. It's going to save you a fortune, ain't it? That stuff. If it's only 50 quid for two and a half, whatever, you won't need all that, will you?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Well.
It's like when it's like you can make your own stuff up, can't you? From it's £5 a watts it, and you put that in, that neutralises it. So you might as well buy that pond detox and get rid of everything on that. It's going to save you a fortune at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Scrag says here, if you're sticking something in your pond, you really need to know what it is and what it's supposed to do. Is there a data sheet for it? At present, Nick's just gone on the website and there isn't.
There's no data sheet for Lincolnshire Fish Health stuff, though.
No, there's none on that neither.
No, but I think Paula would tell you what was in it if you inquired.
Because there's nothing on them. What's in it neither, is there?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think there is. There's no dates on that neither.
You know, I just think it needs a little bit more investigation and looking into it for me personally.
Well, look at all that problem Scrag had with these ponds, and he throwed some of that Lincolnshire stuff in. It sorted his pond out straight away.
Yeah.
When it all kicked off in his pond, after 10 seconds or whatever, putting a dose of that stuff in, that Lincolnshire stuff, his fish was swimming around right as day, and I think that's what saved his pond at the end of the day.
Yeah. And how long is it actually active in the water?
I don't know. I ain't got it. Or that's a mod. You know what I mean?
I suppose that'd depend on just how much contamination there is in water, really. Just as to how much it removes.
Well, because Phil went round, he said his pond stunk of like ammonia and stress off the fish within 10 seconds or 10 minutes or whatever it was, putting that in. There was no smell or nothing, and his fish weren't gasping for air. They're swimming around like nothing had happened. There's a video of it, that Lincolnshire stuff, what Scrag used.
I mean, I'm not saying that the stuff that's in it doesn't work, but it could alleviate a lot of this unknown if there was more than people pushing, it's bloody good stuff, you should have this for your pond, it does this, does that, but does it do this and this? If it does that and there isn't
Time will
that,
tell, won't it? Time
From
will
my-
tell
from
with
my-
all these
from my-
products.
From my point of view, I can only report back on my findings from using it. Which is in the long run, when other people use it, if they use it, then they'll report their findings, and in the long run, that's where it'll gain its place in the market because people will report their own findings with it.
I mean, I'm not slating the product, I'm just asking questions, the same questions I asked when the lactobacteria and that was being pushed by James, the stuff from UK Koi Supplies. Now, my argument with that is if your filtration is running like it should, you shouldn't need to add lactobacteria to it. Period. Can you see what I mean?
Well,
Because
some people are now. Some people are now. They never touch their ponds and they've never had an issue with fish. They now don't put chemicals in and nothing. Once that pond's running, they don't touch it. So how does that work?
Afternoon, Alan.
Less is more, I suppose. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Precisely. Because this year, I've hardly touched my fish. I've had parasites, and all I've used is PP this year to kill them. That's all I've used, PP. I haven't used any other chemical except for PP. And my pond out there is running absolutely bang on. And I do a monthly dose of PP. And you know what?
I wouldn't do that personally,
No,
me, but that's...
you know what? My pond, I don't recommend, my pond is running sweet.
No, exactly. And you said you said it there in one thing. My pond.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Your pond is working with that regime.
Yeah. Because I was fed up of because at the beginning of the season I was throwing chemicals after chemicals after chemicals in there, and it was shifting none of them. So in the end, I bought one of them meters what Soy bought and Scrag bought. Now I know how much PP I can throw in that pond before my fish start keeling over.
Yeah,
my pond, definitely. You know what I mean? And since I've been doing that regime for the last 6 months, touch wood, that pond has been running as sweet as a nut.
Well, that's the point, isn't it? Every pond's got different levels of contamination and organics in it. So one person's pond is going to be completely different to the next as to what dosage it needs in it. Like, say, for example, a pond what's never had a water change or anything like that in its life is going to need a hell of a lot more potassium put in it to get rid of those organics than a pond would, for example, that's running an ozone system, because you couldn't do them doses on a pond that's running an ozone system.
No, because you kill them straight away.
You would.
No, but this
is a godsend.
This is why it troubles me. It's probably the wrong word, but when someone says this product is a one fits all, well, before I actually say yes, it's a one fits all, I want to look at some data and something to show what it is and why it does what it does. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You wouldn't take aspirins, would you, if you didn't know what was in them?
I have product, in my opinion, when comparing it, I won't go back to product. Courses for courses. Yeah, Simon's just said that, the Scrag. I have product, in my opinion, when comparing, I won't go back to Paula's product. But and this is what I always go back to, especially with like the lactobacteria. If your pond and your filters are running right, why do you need to add it? Can you see what I mean? You know.
I get your point, but then that's like us having an Actimel. If it gives them that extra little boost.
Yeah, I can understand that analogy. Yeah. Anyway, on to something else. Yeah. But
I also picked up a new fish while I was out at Shosha.
Ooh.
I've not actually got it yet though. It's still in QT.
All right. What is it?
It's a Maraduka Haku.
Oh.
It's a Nisai from the harvest when they went out. For the Nisai. What's just been shipped back over.
Nice.
Nice.
Dave picked up a nice Haku from Water Bar.
Yeah, he did. They had 2 on them.
Oh yeah.
Really
Went in for one, comes out with 2.
I've got a Kahaku.
Maybe it's time for buy one get one free.
Yeah, I've got a nice Kahaku sitting at the forest, but they're not my love of koi for sure. And I know a lot of people say koi begins and ends in Kahaku, and no, sorry, it don't. And it's just, especially with the body sizes and the body shapes that are coming out now on some of the Gosenki, are just, in some respects, it's as if they're reverting back to a natural carp body shape, in that big shoulders, small head, look out of shape. I still can't get my head over the one that won what it won, because when you look at it from any angle, that head looks diddy compared to that body, and everyone goes, "Oh, but that's just power."
Well, I've got problems to look for, all these problems to look forward to next season. So, because I started in the middle of last season, and now no problems. Fluke's Kikadil. Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to that.
But talking about ponds and filtration, Ty, in America, I watch a lot of the Aquascape videos and their natural filtration, and they say clean it once a year. Is that how they really do it out there?
I don't know that everybody actually does it once a year. I know those natural ponds and that style is really popular out here, but I can't speak to it myself because I don't have a pond that style where it's.
For me, it's just the amount of crap that's starting to build up, even if you've done it monthly, you know.
I think they're big on potassium doses as well, though, to oxidize those pollutants that have been sat inside, because they have a lot of gravel inside them and pebbles and things like that, don't they?
Yeah, I was going to say they have a lot of root work in the bottom of your ponds, don't they? And that's the bit that I to me, that's just a bacteria trap.
Yeah, I'm
it works. It works for them, though, don't it?
But I don't think your average koi keeper out here who does a natural pond, I don't think a lot of people use potassium, to be honest. I think people drain their pond once a year, power wash it all out, and then fill it back up. And that's about the extent of it.
If I look at it as a koi keeper from the UK, it seems absurd not to clean it that often. But then, like the carp fishing in me thinks, well, it's more of a natural pond or lake, whereas a lake don't get cleaned out. It's just...
No, but at the same time, you've got a lot of natural lakes have got trees around them. They've got plant life in them.
Natural lakes are self-sustaining, aren't they?
Yeah, but then do these ponds then become self-sustaining after a certain point?
Yes.
It's the volume. It's the volume of water you're dealing with, isn't it?
and the surface area with all the stones and the pebbles and the plants.
A good example about this, I had a pond. Well, I just inherited my pond. And this pond was not touched for, that'll be 10 years, because Tony's dad had a stroke and couldn't look after it before. And just before Tony's mum passed away, that's my wife, by the way, I went out into the garden and I seen fish in it. I mean, just golden fish, goldfish, comets, I don't know what they were. I mean, and that pond hadn't been touched for years, and everything was still fine in there. And when I eventually cleaned it out for myself, I counted 23 fish in there, not including the koi I've just put into it, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we got Alan Tate in the comments, and I know he has a big lake that holds his Shiros in, and I'd like to know, does he ever have any problems water quality wise with it being a fixed body of water? I don't know if it has anything feeding it, but I do know that's where he keeps his Shiro Atsuris. So yeah, is there anything that you have to do to the lake to make sure that the ammonia levels and everything are kept in check? You know, looking at it from a different side, you know, from someone who has the complete opposite side of the scale.
I'd imagine we, I mean, I don't know, but I'd imagine we bodies of water that size, when we're talking lakes, I'd imagine that the sheer volume of water itself, you know, is that much water that it becomes over diluted, if that makes sense. And then not to mention all the natural vegetation around the lakes. I'd imagine that it don't become so much of a problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
and I presume then you've got all little insects in the ponds cleaning all the crap out the bottoms of them anyway.
Yeah, you know, and like I say, natural lakes, most of them have got trees round them, and you'll be surprised how much shit those trees will take out of the lake through the soil. You know, so it's one of those, isn't it? I know for a fact that even the mud ponds at the farm have to be drained at least every other year completely.
Just the silt that builds up and everything?
Because of the silt that builds up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the small B ponds and the H ponds. Once that light tide table changes, all that stuff that's on the bottom starts turning toxic, because the algae that eats the toxins dies off because of the light, and then you end up with toxicity in there. Now, just thinking about it, could this product be used to prolong the length of time that the guys could keep fishing a pond like that? We don't know, because there's no data sheet.
You'd need a hell of a lot of it.
Anyway, I've got to go. My son's just come. I'll speak to you a lot later. Nice to catch up with everyone.
I think we'll knock it on the head for today. We've been going for an hour and a half. Ma's cooking dinner, and I got to put my hand back into a freezing pond. So on that note, guys, I would like to thank everyone in the comments for joining along. It's always good to see you. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Ty from the Koi Pit, Ickle Nicky from Little Nick's Koi Pond, Cy from Up North Koi Pond, Aid from Aid the Koi Keeper, Rocket Boy from Rocket Boy Koi, and I'm not sure if Chris has a YouTube channel yet or not.
Oh, yes, I do.
So pop across to Chris, X Trails Extra. As always, guys and girls, I've been Twisted Koi. You lot out there, you know you're great. And we will see you back here, same place, same time.
Catch you later. Have a good Christmas if I don't speak to you.
Take care. Thanks for having me in, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.